Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome at our next session of the online course of Cost Action. And today's speaker is András Gábos, who holds a PhD in Sociology from the Corvinus University in Budapest. He is a senior researcher at TÁRKI Social Research Institute, also in Budapest. His thesis examined the fertility effects of the Hungarian family benefit system. His main fields of interest are in income inequality, poverty and social exclusion, social policy, and family policy. So it is a great pleasure to welcome you here, András, and the floor is yours.
Okay. Thank you very much for the opportunity, for inviting me to present on the parenting leave policies in Hungary and the inequality issues related to this policy system. So before going into the details of the parenting leave system in Hungary, I would like to make a very short context on the Hungarian situation. So what is the background for the Hungarian policy? So historically, the fertility rates and also the size of the population started to decline in Hungary before other countries in the region. So fertility started to decline already in 1920s and the population size in 1980s. So this is why this declining or low fertility rate is a real worry among the intellectuals and policymakers in Hungary back in the now for more than 100 years. For the recent developments, I would like to highlight, since we have the same government and same prime minister for 16 years now, so we can talk really a long period of the same policy system in many areas, that a huge emphasis is on the welfare society in Hungary. In 2010, the then candidate prime minister Viktor Orbán promised 1 million new jobs and full employment for Hungary. And we also need to be aware that insurance or employment-based benefits are dominant in the Hungarian welfare system historically. Also, there is another target set by the prime minister at the very beginning of this period related to the levels of total fertility rate to reach a replacement level by 2050. So now, what are the details of the parenting leave system in Hungary? As a context, all the details are described in the country note prepared together with Zsuzsanna Makai for Hungary for the international network on leave policies. You can also find a link in the presentation, but you can find on the net this Hungarian country note. As a general rule, parents in Hungary are entitled to non-paid parental leave from birth until the age 3 of the child on an individual basis. And for those having an employment record, they are also entitled to paid leave, and also those not entitled, without a proper employment record, they also are entitled to a paid leave, but on a different basis I will tell you about immediately. So the first benefit one can receive during this parenting leave period in Hungary is the baby care allowance, which is the benefit during the maternity leave period, which takes 24 weeks overall, and up to 4 weeks can be taken before the birth of the child. The replacement level is 100% in this case, without an upper limit. and all mothers being employed at least a year within a 2-year period prior to birth are entitled to this benefit. This called baby care allowance, and is csecsemő gondozási díj in Hungarian. After this period, there is the parental leave period, where the benefit one can receive depends on the employment record she or he has before the birth of the child. So there are actually two strands of benefits depending on this employment record. For insured parents, there is childcare fee, which is gyermekgondozási díj in Hungarian, is implemented since 1985. And it took until the second birthday of the child, and the replacement level in terms of earnings is 70%. And there is an upper limit now on this benefit, which is 70% of the twice of the minimum daily wage. The eligibility is the same as in the case of the maternity leave benefit. As for the non-insured parents or parents without a proper employment record before the birth of the child, there is the childcare allowance, which is gyermekgondozás segítő ellátás in Hungarian, and this was introduced very early in the late 60s. And it goes from the birth of the child until the third birthday of the child. And it also can be taken after the childcare fee, so the employment-related benefit. So if someone exhausts the childcare fee, then it can take also another year of childcare allowance. The payment is lump sum, and it's monthly 75 euro actually, and this is unchanged since 2009. All parents and guardians are eligible for this benefit. In both cases, since 2015, parents can work unlimited hours after the child turns 6 months old, while they still receive the full benefit. As the paternity leave is concerned in Hungary, there is no separate name in Hungarian for this. It's just listed as one of the eligible reasons for leave days in the Code of Labor legislation. Since 2023, the length of this leave is 10 working days, in accordance with the Work-Life Balance Directive of the European Council. The payment is for the first 5 days is 100% of the absence fee, which is equal to the payment received for annual leave, with no upper limit on the payment during this period. But for the second 5-day period, it's only 40% this absence fee. All employed biological or adoptive fathers are eligible for this leave, and it can be taken during the first 2 months of the child's life. So after the details of the parenting leave system in Hungary, now I would like to talk a few words about the inequality effects of this system. Who is now for this leave period and these benefits? I already talked about the eligibility of the benefits and of the different periods of the leave prior, so I wouldn't go into the much details again. I would only highlight that to be eligible for the parental leave and the related benefits, is not related to citizenship. So everyone working or having a permit of stay in Hungary are eligible for these. However, same-sex couples are not eligible, neither for parental or paternity leave as a couple, as they are neither allowed to marry nor to adopt a child. I prepared two graphs here, as the take-up rates are not really the most powerful part of the Hungarian statistical system. So I prepared out of the available data two types of graphs. The first one shows the three main benefits, like the baby care allowance, the childcare fee, and the childcare allowance, related to the number of children in the specific age group. The other one on the right-hand side shows the same benefits, but now related to 1,000 childbearing age women in Hungary. And the two graphs provide a roughly similar picture, that across time, these are quite stable take-up rates. And the lowest take-up rates is related to the baby care allowance, so the benefit during the maternity leave. And there are two reasons for this, that it's only 24 weeks, and I could only relate this to the number of children aged in their first year of age, and also that those in employment are eligible for this benefit. And also the childcare fee and the childcare allowance are roughly have the same take-up rates, which is quite high in Hungary historically. So what effect the parenting leave system in Hungary has on gender equality? Formally, the Hungarian system is gender neutral, except for the maternity leave period and the related benefit. Otherwise, either of parents can take the leave and the benefit. But in fact, so in practice, mothers take the leave mostly. In the Hungarian system, there is no non-transferable paternity leave. Other specificity of the Hungarian system. And but the childcare fee, which is in place to some research in 2020, the share of increasing relatively so there was an important increase since 2008 from 5%. Although in practice it might be, and some research results point to this fact, that these figures may not cover the actual situation, which means that formally fathers take up the benefit, but in fact mothers stay at home with the child. In Hungary, maternal employment is traditionally low, and there is a large gender gap among parents in this respect. With the introduction of the so-called JED extra, which is childcare fee extra, in 2015, from where the benefit can be still taken up while the parent is working full-time, employment increased, but the gap between fathers and mothers slightly widened. Formal childcare coverage is still low in Hungary, and although it's increasing overall, it's still an obstacle for mothers and also fathers to some extent to take up employment while they are on parental leave. And overall in Hungary, cultural norms reinforce a quasi-male breadwinner model during the first 3 years of the child. So as a summary of the presentation, I would like first to highlight that there is a discussion in the Hungarian public discourse whether the role of the overall of the family benefit system and specifically the parental leave system has what kind of redistribution we expect from this policy system, whether it's a vertical redistribution, which is in focus, or a horizontal redistribution between those without children and those with children. Overall, these policies has effects on very different dimensions of our lives, like fertility decisions, employment behavior, household income, and related to this overall income inequality and poverty. And also they have an effect on the children's well-being. In Hungary, historically, there is a focus on the fertility effect of the family policy benefits, but during the last period, there is a real research gap in this respect, and also child well-being are less examined. There is a linked administrative database which is available for research, a very rich database. So this is obviously a very huge, important opportunity to examine the effects of these policies. And we also need to acknowledge that the EU Silk income data in Hungary became unreliable for the last 10 years period, which may hamper the examination of several research questions in the field. So thank you very much for your attention, and should you have additional questions, comments, please let me know.